Let's take a look at some market movers this morning. And first up, we got to start with Pfizer because shares on the move after the company slashed its full year guidance on lower demand for COVID products. Now, the U.S. drug maker cutting its sales forecast for its COVID vaccine and also for therapy. Some analysts saying that the reduction was larger than expected. The company expecting 2023 sales of $58 billion to $61 billion. Now, that's down from its previous guidance, yet we are seeing shares move to the upside. When it comes to some of the reaction that we're seeing from the street here this morning, largely most of this was expected, so not necessarily catching the street by surprise. Jeffrey's out with the note saying that they think investors have some attractive catalysts here, a path going forward. They raised actually Pfizer to outperform post that Seagen deal close here. So certainly some catalysts on the horizon for this company. And also Wells Fargo's reaction just saying that Pfizer resetting its COVID forecast is a good first step towards recovery. Now they need to execute on some of those new launches that they have on tap. So lots of the focus being placed going forward about what's in the pipeline and what could also help Pfizer regain some of that momentum that it's clearly lost since the start of the year.
Yeah, this company is set to report earnings in just a few weeks here. And one of the huge things that we're going to be watching out for when they do report earnings, I believe on the 31st of October here, is, and I bring this up time and time again now, I guess, and as we're looking for and searching for a theme for this earnings season, but cost discipline is going to be something you hear about them with them because they've already said it before. They've got whole cost realignment programs. So all this taking place as they've got this program that's expected to deliver these savings of at least $3.5 billion. $1 billion of that expected to be realized in 2023. $2.5 billion of that expected to be realized in 2024. And they're also looking at a lot of one-time costs to achieve those savings of that cost realignment program, expected to be about $3 billion, mostly cash there. So a lot of this kind of baked into, and really how investors are going to have to continue to track where in that cost savings or cost realignment, where there's restructuring that gets put forward, where there's perhaps looking across the portfolio of different services, solutions rather, that they've brought to market, and where they have to sunset others. This is a big IP time for a lot of the healthcare industry, especially in the biopharma side, and where they decide to either reallocate costs away from one part of the business in order to make a strategic investment that's going to help them for 15, 20 years to be able to hold on to patents. That's something to be able to keep an eye on as well going into these reports, as we expect to hear more on that front.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right there, Brad. And when we talk about some of the pressure that we've seen on these stocks and more broadly across the sector, obviously we know competition has been heating up. Lots of emphasis, lots of pressure placed on some of these companies, specifically Pfizer and Moderna, in terms of what's going to happen now that we're past peak use when it comes to COVID, or peak demand, I should say, for the COVID shots, for some of the therapy, for the treatment, obviously weighing on Pfizer's results here in the most recent quarters. A headwind here when you take a look at the current quarter. So transitioning from that focus going forward, what exactly that's going to be, a lot of that reliant on what is in the pipeline here in terms of new drugs, new therapies, and how that is going to boost results here down the line. And that's largely what we are hearing from analysts here this morning. JP Morgan saying that there are a number of questions and uncertainties from here. They also further lowered their COVID forecast as a result of what we heard from Pfizer this morning in terms of their updated guidance.